Hello, friends, and welcome into the Cowboys Report. I am your host, Tom Downey. Let's dive into the latest Cowboys rumors. First up, does Dallas want a Dak Prescott deal before they have to apply the tag? Well, duh. 4 stars on this one. This one isn't really a shocking development, but very expected and certainly worth discussing here. That from Report, the Cowboys' plan is to make another push at signing Dak Prescott and getting a deal done before they have to apply the franchise tag and before free agency begins. This makes so much sense for all parties involved. A, Dak Prescott gets paid. He wins. The Cowboys know what they have to pay him. That's when they get the deal done. They get it out of the way. And perhaps most importantly, it also allows a franchise tag to be used elsewhere. Or as a reminder, if there is no new CBA, the Cowboys can use both the franchise tag and the transition tag. Now, the tag window opens when it can first be applied on February 25th. I would be stunned if the Cowboys were to tag Dak at that time frame. And frankly, if it does, I would wonder if the trade rumors actually make even more sense at that point. The deadline, though, to tag a player comes on March 10th. That is your first deadline for getting a deal done. If there is no deal done by March 10th, the next one comes in on July 15th, when if a deal is not reached, Dak must play the 2020 season on the franchise tag. That's not an ideal scenario. A, it's going to cost you more money in the long run. The price only goes up each and every single year. And that's one tag, potentially one of two, potentially the only tag, that you can use then. And there are other players worthy of a franchise tag for the Dallas Cowboys this year. The most obvious being Amari Cooper. I would like to tag him to at least avoid letting him hit the open market. Byron Jones fits the same mold. I don't think Robert Quinn's a true franchise tag guy, but maybe transition tag could make some sense for him. Randall Cobb, Malik Collins, those guys aren't tags, but they are the next best free agent options. So the question then becomes, will the Cowboys extend Dak Prescott before they have to franchise tag him? I think they were close before the year began. I was surprised that deal did not get done. I think the deal does get done at some point, and I hope it's done before the tag window. I would rather pay Dak Prescott $36 million right now and make him the highest paid quarterback than wait a year or 3 months or whatever time frame it ends up being and make him the second highest paid quarterback, but now the price tag is $38 because Patrick Mahomes signed his deal. So type your votes in the comments section. Y for yes, N for no. If you're watching on YouTube, you might get an ad break here, and I've made this the pinned comment, so go cast your votes right there. We mentioned franchise tags. Well, how about Byron Jones? If there's no deal for Dak, you're not going to be able to tag Byron. Is he going to leave in free agency? It is with great sadness that I update this one to 3 stars beyond the 2 that it was. An interesting note coming out of the Dallas Morning News that the Cowboys don't view Byron Jones as worth giving a $12 to $14 million per year contract. If that's true, or if the Cowboys don't change their mind, he gone. And frankly, what are you doing? If you don't value Byron at $12 million per year, I don't get it. I know there aren't interceptions, but he's been a number 1 corner. And look, Marcus Peters got 14. That's the floor for Byron Jones. If I know it's a new staff, if you don't want to pay Byron Jones $12 million, you're just not evaluating him as a true number 1 corner. We've gone over the top 5 highest paid corners. I would not be surprised if Byron got $15 million. But if you're not willing to give him $12 million, even with a new staff in place, that's not even top 10 money. You're not going to pay Byron top 10 money with how contracts work. That's a simple mistake right there. I don't understand that mindset. That's less than so many other cornerbacks out there that we'll get to that other list here of other highest paid corners in the NFL, but Marcus Peters, Desmond Trufant, AJ Boye got 13.5. You're not going to pay Byron that? I know Stephon makes 13. That contract was signed a while ago. If you're not going to give Byron $12 million, he should leave because he's going to get more elsewhere. And my concern here is that it opens up a big hole at cornerback. I am optimistic a new staff comes in and they get a Awuzie playing better, and Jordan Lewis continues to be worthy of a starting role, or at least a nickel corner role. But beyond those two, You got nobody coming back. I like Alumba. I like Chris Westry's upside, guys. I'm not counting on him to start next year. So with the alternatives out there, I'd pay Byron. But let me know in the comments. The Cowboys apparently don't want to give him 12 to 14. I can understand not wanting to make him the highest paid corner in the NFL. I get that. He's not the best corner, but this is how contracts tend to work. To not give him 12? I think that's just some internal misevaluation of either A, your cap space, and or B, what the player's actually worth. Now, Byron Jones might leave. If you don't want your wife or girlfriend to leave, you should probably get her something on Valentine's Day. You can save 15% off flowers and gifts at chatsports.com/flowers. Not just flowers, by the way, gifts too. So all the cookie options out there, 15% off. If you do it right now, you might be able to get in before the rush shipping kicks in. It's chatsports.com/flowers. Valentine's Day is almost here. I'm trying to look out for you guys and help you out. That way you're not in the doghouse later on this weekend. Next up, Sean Lee. Is he going to play in 2020? 4 stars. He's confirmed that he will. Will he play for the Dallas Cowboys? Now, Sean Lee, I am a little surprised at how quickly he made his decision. I wonder if he heard back from the Cowboys themselves or potentially other teams about their interest there. And there certainly will be interest in Sean Lee. He still wants to play for the Dallas Cowboys, but he's also aware, look, he's going to be 34 in July, and he's aging, and he's going to be a free agent. I say bring back Sean Lee. He is not the same guy he was in his prime, when I still am convinced, had he been healthy, we'd be talking about him like we talk about Luke Kuechly. The injuries just kind of robbed him of some of his prime years and even just in some seasons and just extra games there. So he's not the same guy. He's not the 115 tackle machine he was in his prime, and he's not quite as quick and athletic as he once was, but the football smarts are still there. The intelligence is still there, and the body actually held up pretty well this year in a lesser role. And with Leighton Vander Esch's neck concerns, I want to bring back Sean Lee. I still need depth at linebacker. I'm not going to pay Sean Lee like $7 million to be my number 3 linebacker, but can I get him for 3 or 4 or even less potentially? I'm open to that. And of course, I want Sean Lee still being there, helping to mentor and educate all those other linebackers in the end. So I want Sean Lee back. But will he come back? You guys cast your votes in the comment section. 1 for yes, 2 for no. I lean yes, that I think Sean Lee does return to the Dallas Cowboys in a still smaller role, but still a valuable role for the Dallas Cowboys. Let's talk more about free agency here. Should Dallas target a defensive tackle in free agency this offseason? I still vote yes. I'm going to give it 3 stars. It's not a lock, but I think the Cowboys, their approach should be worry about defensive tackle in free agency, other spots in the draft. Because, folks, it is a strong group at defensive tackle. It is a good and talented overall available options out there. And I think it makes sense. We know DT is a massive need. You can add both starters and or depth, and frankly, probably not overpay, which we know the Cowboys will never, ever do in the open market. Now, we'll go through the Cowboys' current outlook and some potential targets as well, but I got a deal for you guys. 40% off all kinds of Cowboys hats at chatsports.com/Cowboys hats. They got flat bills. They've got kind of more of your baseball style hats. They got everything on there. All different colors and styles and sizes and fits, everything. 40% off, while of course they still last in your size. It's chatsports.com/Cowboys hats. Check the description. Check the comments as well. I've got the link in there for you guys to go click and shop. As we mentioned, DT is a big need for the Cowboys. Malik Collins is a free agent. I don't think he's back. Tyrone Crawford might be cut. Antoine Woods is an RFA. I think he returns, but I still need more. And as I've said before, it is Fatty's only season on the defensive line for the Dallas Cowboys. I need bigger body guys above 300 pounds who can also help me stop the run. And the good news for the Cowboys is there are several of those fits. These guys are more of that one technique, a.k.a. run-stopping defensive tackles who aren't going to be great against the pass rush, but they'll stop the run. They're bigger bodies, and they're often asked to handle more double teams than the penetrating 3 technique type is in terms of the NFL. That's DJ Reader, Javon Hargrave, Danny Shelton. I like Mike Pennell because of his ties to Mike McCarthy. I love Andrew Billings as well. And there are even more guys. Look, we've gone over so many defensive tackles. I'm leaving dudes off this list, which is kind of crazy right now. If you agree with me, I've already done this video more in depth for you guys. I went over some of the top defensive free agent tackle targets for the Dallas Cowboys. It's on the channel right now. You can go check it out. If you aren't subscribed, you guys are missing out on stuff like this. So hit that big red button and subscribe today. We will do, of course, more than just defensive tackles as free agency and as draft approach. Speaking of needs, that safety, it's time to free Donovan Wilson and start him in 2020. I'm going to give it the 1 star. I have mentioned this before on the show, but I don't think it's all that likely unless the new coaching staff wants to use Donovan Wilson in a very different way than what he was. I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense. I think in reality, this is still just the 1 star for the Dallas Cowboys because he barely played in 2019. And when Donovan Wilson did play, it was very impressive in the preseason, but it wasn't as a strong safety. And if Xavier Woods is going to be your free safety, that's an awkward fit. Now, the reason why maybe it makes more sense now, Maurice Linguist, Wilson's defensive backs coach at Texas A&M, is the new DB's coach for the Dallas Cowboys. So, if they maybe want to run more quarters, which is your corners and safeties are both in deep field responsibilities, that might make more sense. And as of right now, there's nobody else. You got Xavier Woods, Donovan Wilson, and free agents. So you're going to explore adding other players. And if I'm the Cowboys, I think now more than any other time makes the most sense to invest in a high-powered safety. And I mentioned Donovan Wilson, right? If Xavier Woods is your free safety, how do you get Donovan Wilson on the field? The Cowboys last year did not view Donovan Wilson as a box, and that's, line of scrimmage, or as a strong safety. Here was his snap count breakdown for the preseason and the regular season. 5 of his snaps, that's 3%, came on the slot. 13% came at strong safety or in the box or at linebacker or in that mold. 83% of them came at free safety. You're not going to play Donovan Wilson over Xavier Woods. So as of right now, the Cowboys don't view him as a strong safety option. I hope that changes because I wouldn't mind giving Wilson a shot at strong safety. I'm still going to invest at a safety probably earlier in the draft, which is why my vote here is other, though. I like Wilson. You can give him a chance to compete for a role in camp. That's always a good thing. But even though I liked what I saw in the preseason, I'm casting my vote for O for other. Unless the Cowboys drastically change his role in 2020, the answer in the end, I think, is going to be other. We mentioned draft stuff, too, here. How about taking a tight end in this year's NFL draft class? This is an intriguing idea to me and one we've discussed before that I do think makes some sense for the Dallas Cowboys. I'll give it 2 stars. There are, though, some potential red flags here that the Cowboys will have to work their way through. I think we're all in agreement. Tight end is a need. Jason Witten's an old free agent. I don't think he's going to end up being back for the Dallas Cowboys. So the question you must answer is, A, is Blake Jarwin the answer? I think that question, at least the answer to it, is unclear at the moment. I'm open to give him a shot at tight end. And then it becomes, okay, well, if you're going to give Jarwin a shot, maybe you don't spend a first or second round pick on the position. And if that's the case, aren't you going to end up with another Dalton Schultz, who is a fine backup piece, but at this point, I don't think Schultz is going to emerge as a number 1 option, which is fine. It was a 4th round pick. It was always going to be a gamble that probably ended up him as being a backup. Now, the more I like this tight end class, the more I watch it, the more I like it. Cole Kmet at Notre Dame, Adam Trotman, Bryson Hopkins, both Hunter and Harrison Bryant, Thaddeus Moss, but all of those guys, I think, end up being probably day 2 picks or at least early round 4 picks. And if you're the Cowboys, when you have an option, at least in Blake Jarwin, I kind of want to invest in other positions. I have needs right now at cornerback, at defensive end, and defensive tackle, and at safety too. So if I can't fix those needs in free agency, I got to spend my draft picks there first. And all of a sudden, I'm not getting a tight end until the middle of day 3. And at that point, maybe I should just roll with Blake Jarwin for an entire year and evaluate the tight end class for the 2021 draft and in free agency. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.